marriage. Our first guest tonight, one of 11 Republican lawmakers urging criminal investigations of Comey, Clinton, and others. An influential voice now leading the charge against the deep and pervasive corruption at the top echelons of both the FBI and Justice Department. Joining us tonight is Congressman Matt Gaetz. He serves on a number of key committees. They include Judiciary, Budget, and Armed Services. Good to have you with us. A criminal referral. You want to see what's going on with the Obama Justice Department and FBI to clean up the mess at the FBI. Comey and McCabe included in that list of targets, not subjects, targets of those investigations. What are the odds that you will, that this recalcitrant, stonewalling Justice Department will actually respond?
Well, you've asked the operative question, Lou, and my concern is that in the absence of a second special counsel, we'll just have the Department of Justice investigating themselves. But if they're going to do that, in Congress, we want to be very specific about the crimes that we believe have been committed. When investigators determine the outcome of an investigation before conducting the interviews for political purposes, the risk is that they themselves have obstructed justice and violated federal law. When you've got Peter Strzok and Lisa Page trying to impact the outcome of these investigations because they hate President Trump or love Hillary Clinton, that is not lawful. When you've got Andrew McCabe and Jim Comey lying to Congress, saying verifiably untrue things, that is against the law. And so we didn't want the Justice Department to have any wiggle room to say, well, we don't really know what to investigate, and it all looks fine here. That's why 11 bold conservatives stood together. We laid out the case, and now we will see whether the Justice Department is ready to deliver any justice at all.
Well, I have to say that one particular line stood out in your letter to the Justice Department. If I can quote, if we can put up this full screen of the sentence, and I think everyone will enjoy this, saying that we are especially mindful of the dissimilar degrees of zealousness that has marked the investigations into former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and the presidential campaign of Donald Trump, respectively. I don't think you could have put it more eloquently or gently. Your thoughts on that sentence and what the reaction might be at the Justice Department?
Well, Lou, there is an obvious double standard, obvious hypocrisy when you look at how the colleagues of Hillary Clinton were treated and how the colleagues of Donald Trump are being treated now. Hillary Clinton's entire team was given the opportunity to review their own documents and self-curate what they were going to present as evidence. They also got immunity deals from the Obama Justice Department. Compare that to people who've had associations with Donald Trump. They're getting raided with no notice, no warning, no ability to separate out information that has nothing to do with foreign interference in our election process. And when the American people see the way Donald Trump is treated, when they see how unfair this is, they continue to rally to our cause. Lou, I think it's one of the reasons why the president's approval rating continues to rise, because regular folks in this country see what a sham it is. The Democrats are working together with the deep state to discredit the duly elected president of the United States while ignoring their own crimes and misconduct. That is not the rule of law in the United States.
It's not the rule of law, and you have the only cabinet member in history in this country cited for contempt by the Congress of the United States, one Eric Holder, who perpetrated more scandals than any attorney general that I can certainly recall, saying he would like to run for president and wants to head for New Hampshire. I mean, are you kidding me? This is reaching the level of
I hope Eric Holder runs for president.
Well,
I hope
so
we can talk all
but
about Fast and Furious, and I think the Democrats could have no better standard bearer than Eric Holder, because he represents all of the scandals and lies and mistreatment of justice that was so just emblematic of the Obama era.
A part of me really, though, does have a special warm place for Joe Biden as the standard bearer for the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders might even, there's a lot of, I see a lot of really great candidates that the Democrats could put forward. So it's going to be an exciting 2020. But then we have these little things called midterms. And your speaker is, I don't know what he's on, other than a high, all inspired by himself, where he resigns as speaker, wants to stay through January, clean up a pension of some $85,000 a year, but doesn't want anybody to go to any extra trouble to win a midterm election. I'd like to hear you characterize the Speaker and your preferences for the way in which his successor should be chosen and when.
Well, Lou, I don't think the American people care who the Speaker is. I think they care what policies we're fighting for to improve quality of life for Americans. And frankly, in the 115th Congress, I think we've left a lot of meat on the bone. We should still be fighting to repeal Obamacare. We should still be fighting for spending cuts and welfare reform. We should be fighting with this president to get the money to build the wall and secure our border and end sanctuary cities. So I'm going to be looking for a Speaker who can be a real leader on those things and won't just hand all of the power over to Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell, but will fight for the conservative principles that can get us elected in the midterms. And frankly, I don't see that happening right now. Just this week, Lou, we gave back a legislative day instead of staying in town and fighting for this president's agenda, and that is deeply disturbing to me.
How soon would you like to see that election? And is there an appetite in the conference to see that election very soon?
Well, Lou, I don't know when it'll be, but I know that the ideas will matter more than the personalities, and we've got to have a fighting spirit in the Speaker's chair, and I'm hopeful we'll get somebody that can lead our conference with that vigor and with that sense of purpose.
I think you should be fair to Speaker Ryan. He fought diligently, vigorously against President Trump and his agenda throughout. You want to take that back, Congressman?
You know, I think that the Speaker has been perhaps effective within our chamber of funding the wall, making sure that we had consequences for sanctuary cities. Where I think we've all failed as an institution is ensuring that the United States Senate, which is sitting on 500 bills from the House that they haven't acted on, we've allowed Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell to be off the hook because we haven't pressed them and forced them, and that's really been the great sin.
Did I misunderstand you? Did you say that your chamber had been effective in funding the wall?
No, I do, but look, we passed funding for the wall, Lou.
Whoa, Congressman, you and I seldom argue over the minutiae like this, but you didn't put a dime forward for the wall, for fence?
No, not in the
Omni.
Systems. No, not in the Omni. I'm talking about before the Omni.
Oh, before the Omni.
Before the Omni, we passed a bill to put $20 billion in the wall.
Before the Speaker of the House insulted the President of the United States by taking money away from ICE agents in the budget under the $1.3 trillion. You mean before the Speaker insulted the President of the United States and not putting forward a dime to build a wall, but started nonsense about systems.
No, you're right. You're right to be critical about that, but at least we passed it at some point. The problem is then we lost our fight. We lost our vigor. We didn't stay locked in to the promises that we made.
Do you have a preference for Speaker and say maybe by the end of this month?
Hey, if Jim Jordan were Speaker of the House, we'd be winning so much we'd be tired of winning. I think Jim Jordan's a great leader for the conservative cause, and I'd love to see him as our Speaker.
Congressman, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Matt Gaetz.